Among the many facilities impacted by the loosening of social distancing restrictions in sporting events is Richmond Arena. That facility is trying to figure out exactly when it should open to be able to accommodate minor hockey programs in the region. And the discussion took up a lot of time at the recent meeting of Richmond Municipal Council's Committee of the Whole. So you're going to hear several council voices over the next couple of minutes discussing the issue, and we'll also talk a little bit about what the response has been to this from the Straight Richmond Minor Hockey Association. Here's a look at how it all breaks down.
The CAO and myself met with some members of the board of the Straight Richmond Minor Hockey, and they have a request in that we open the arena 1 month earlier. Decision was made to open the arena on November the 1st, I believe, which would delay the regular opening. And they would like us, I believe, to have it open on October the 1st. The Straight Richmond Minor Hockey, what they will be doing with the teams is scheduling what entrances they can enter in and at what times for the hockey practices. I believe they promised 8 hours a week, or will at least have that. There is a cost to opening the arena, but we did budget for a loss anyway in the year.
Well, I'd like to know, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to find out from the CAO. There must be a reason why that we postponed the opening till November. Now, there must be some protocols we got to follow from the province of Nova Scotia, the healthcare department, and also Sports Nova Scotia or Hockey Nova Scotia. And I think this is an operational issue. It's a matter for staff. I'm sure when they looked at it, they must have had a reason why we're opening on November instead of October. And I don't feel like changing that date, and I will not be responsible as a councillor to open and put the minor hockey individuals at risk. I don't want to be the one to blame if something happens that we opened the arena when we shouldn't have, and that we didn't follow the actual protocol from the province of Nova Scotia. So I'd like to know from the CAO exactly what transpired that we put the opening dates beyond October to November 1st.
I was in discussions with a couple of the senior managers, Laurier and Chris, regarding the arena. We basically discussed several issues that influenced our decision. Obviously, we were concerned about the room that was available in our arena for hockey players to come in and get prepared to go on the ice, and at the same time follow the rules related to the pandemic, which was 6 meters social distancing. We also were concerned about some of the items in the report, or I guess in Hockey Nova Scotia's plan to reopen these types of facilities, where they said that they were going to maintain social distancing on the ice as well. So we sort of kind of looked at those two items first of all, and decided that it was going to be very difficult to determine or to really enforce that. And how can you play any kind of hockey or anything on the ice, practicing our skills and maintain that 6 foot of distance? So that was one issue that we looked into. We were also concerned in the health and safety of our staff. We have three staff there. We have no replacement for those staff, and no one else has been trained in order to take a place of any of those staff members if in fact they decide that they feel unsafe and that they want to leave the arena. And of course there's the idea of people coming into the facility that would also be exposed if something was there. We also know that the cost associated with startup is relatively the same no matter what, depending on when we start preparing the ice and getting it ready. But we did know that the revenues were going to be extremely lower, because we ourselves canceled our programming, which would have been several types of hockey. Would have been mini hockey, pickup hockey, and co-ed hockey. And we were informed that Richmond figure skating was not going to operate this year. So the concern there was that the only basic customer was going to be Straight Richmond Minor Hockey. And we didn't know at the time how much time that they were going to rent from us. So, you know, we just found out just today that they were looking at committing to 8 hours per week, which roughly would be about 40% of their normal rent time. So we also did check with other arenas in the province, and we did put out a question on the listserv, on the AMA listserv, and we didn't get a whole many responses. We might have got 15. We did have several arenas that were altering their plans to reopen. We had some that were postponing for 2 weeks. We had one that was postponing for a month. We had one that wasn't even opening at all. So we took all those things into consideration, and we decided just to postpone it. Basically, we're kind of interested in finding out how things are going to progress in other arenas. You know, we don't want to break any rules, and we don't want to get in trouble for doing something that we're not supposed to do. And we all know how difficult that can be in these times. And we all know that, you know, when the hammer goes down, we may, I don't know, get in trouble perhaps and be reported and have some public negativity against us. After the agenda went out, Laurier brought me a letter that was sent from the Recreation Facilities Association of Nova Scotia. Was sent to Dr. Strang and Stephen McNeil, and they were requesting, it's dated August 24th, and they were requesting that the province reduce the restrictions on the number of people that are allowed in a facility of this nature, arenas, for example. And they were hoping that the province would reduce the restrictions to have no social distancing in these facilities. The limit still remains at 50 for these types of facilities, so it's 50 with social distancing. And their request is that the social distancing be lifted, so that it allows these facilities to have basically full reign in involved sports and interactive hockey. And that was sent to the province in August, and obviously that a decision hasn't been made on that yet. But in speaking with the folks from Straight Richmond Minor Hockey, they did say that there was going to be an announcement coming soon. And for some reason, someone I think today in the office told me that Stephen McNeil was going to present a change to the protocol within the next week or so. So these are the reasons why we postponed the opening, hoping that things would change for the better, and if not, we would be closed and not incurring the huge expense and jeopardizing the health and safety of patrons and the employees, and just seeing what the outcome would be, just taking it sort of slowly instead of quickly. But what happens is the workers have to go in there and they have to prep the floor, because the floor has been over the years soaked with brine, and it's very difficult to get the ice to adhere. So they got to do a general cleaning of the concrete surface, and prepare a few other I guess pieces of equipment to get the ice started, and that usually takes around 10 days to 2 weeks. And then from there, when they start doing the ice and start preparing for it, it's roughly between 7 and 10 days before the ice is complete. And I think what they do is they give it a couple of days after that to let it really, I guess, I'm not going to say cure, I don't know what the true word is, but they prepare it even further for usage. So we're looking at probably from start to the end date is probably a month. So when we call the workers, roughly a month after, it's pretty well ready to go. And right now we've informed the employees that they are going to start on the I think it's the 5th of October, which is a Monday.
Yeah, Mr. CAO, what is the recommendation from the Public Works Director?
Well, it's not so much a recommendation, but he was involved in the discussions when we decided to postpone it for a month. He and I and Laurier, the recreation manager, discussed it.
Well, I think I'm willing to make a motion that we discuss it. We delay the opening for a month.
What I'm going to say here is, in the event that things change, so if the Premier and Dr. Strang come out next week and say we're going to lift the restrictions on social distancing in these types of facilities, well then, as far as I'm concerned, we're ready to go, and we can begin on a moment's notice. Barring that, I think it's good to see what's happening with other arenas, and of course the true impact of schools beginning and things like that will show itself within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I agree with you. We set the date now, but if we can get there a couple of weeks early, that's fine. That's depending on what Dr. Strang recommends.
And we can reevaluate then once that announcement is made.
Yes.
The Straight Richmond Minor Hockey, Don is saying that by October the 12th, they'll be using all of their ice time that they normally use. So that's into the second week of October.
Yeah, I think the comments was that they could manage with getting booked ice time at the Civic Center up until the middle of October, I believe. It's going to take approximately 2 weeks to prep the concrete, and then another 7 to 10 days.
Yeah. 24 days to get it ready.
We're looking at the 24 days.
Yeah.
At least 3.5 weeks.
So the workers are called back for October the 5th.
Right.
And then, so basically that being said, there's no way, like, we're not ready at a moment's notice. We're ready for 24 days or whatever it is after October 5th, right?
Well, let me rephrase that. We're ready at a moment's notice to begin the process.
Yes.
So the process at the very earliest would be tomorrow, and then 24 days after that.
For ice to be ready to be skated on, yes.
So, like, part of I don't know what the intention of this discussion is. If we are to try to bump it up a little bit, or just remain with starting the workers in on the 5th and 24 days after that. But like, I found out about this when there was a press release saying that it was not opening, and there's both sides to that, and I get both sides to that, and I think that, you can argue either one of that, and you can, and I'm fine with whatever the decision was on that. But, like, the arena being pushed back a month affects an awful lot of people from every part of this county, and as an elected official, you deal with people. So we're finding out about this thing after a decision has already been made. So this conversation that we're having right now should have taken place a month ago.
I emailed all the council on the 26th of August.
That was to say that it was pushed back, correct?
Yeah, and if you would have had any comments then, or any councillor, some did respond. I didn't get any negative feedback from it.
No, and I'm not trying to suggest that there's one decision that's better than the rest, because there's validity in all the points on both sides of this. But I'm just saying that the decision was made without certainly any input from council. I wasn't asked to offer my input on where that should be. I was told what was happening.
Well, to tell you the truth, I believe that it shouldn't be a decision of council, that we have staff that are well paid to do that stuff. And as they deal with the concerns of the province and the medical examiner, they should be able to decide when and if the arena is going to be open. And I don't think we needed to make it a decision of council. I've got all kinds of inquiry about the arena, and my response to them was that it was a staff decision because they're in charge. I
agree with Alvin. Why are we bothering with this? That's up to staff. We have public works director that hires his crew back to do those things and have it ready. I don't think there's any harm in having it ready a week early, or
Mr. Chairman, I brought the reason why I asked the CAO is I'm not willing, and I'm not willing to deal with this issue until the protocol from the province changes. I'm going along with staff, exactly, because I don't want to be responsible in any way for anything that happens to the minor hockey system or the players or people that go there that go against the rules that's laid out by the province of Nova Scotia as far as the pandemic that we're in. Don said that they're waiting for news from Premier McNeil, maybe in 2 weeks' time. Until the protocol changes, I'm going with staff, and they're the ones that dealt with this, and it becomes a liability to the municipal government if something happens, and I'm not willing to take that risk until the protocol.
I think you're right. Let's get the arena ready when we have to, and have it ready. If it's a little earlier and you get news from the health department, that's fine.
Good. Open it. If you don't, then that's it.
The initial response from the Straight Richmond Minor Hockey Association to the decision of Richmond Municipal Council wasn't a positive one. In a Facebook post that came up on September 15th, the day after the Committee of the Whole meeting, the president of the Minor Hockey Association, Angie Matheson, stated that the decision to delay the opening of Richmond Arena until November 1st was made with, in her words, minimal consultation or communication with minor hockey. This means that depending on when the next two periods of our rebound plan are approved by Public Health and Hockey Nova Scotia, we will be down an ice surface for scheduling. The result will be reduced ice times and delays in program starts. All ice will obviously be in Port Hawkesbury until the Richmond Arena is opened, and then we are not sure what restrictions will be put in place by the county. Matheson went on to say that we know there have been concerns about some of the restrictions, but some hockey is better than no hockey. The Straight Richmond Minor Hockey Association is ready to work with the municipality on a safe, timely reopening of the Richmond Arena. However, Telile 24/7 has reached out to the Straight Richmond Minor Hockey Association since Matheson made her Facebook post. An official with the association has confirmed to me that ice started coming together at the Richmond Arena this past Monday, September 21st. With this in mind, the arena should be open in 3 weeks. That would result in a delay of only 2 weeks, which the official with the Minor Hockey Association described as inconvenient, but, quote, "We are happy to get kids back on the ice." For Telile 24/7, I'm Adam Cook.